Heading to the gym, gonna meet up with a friend, hopefully kick some ass, get some photos, be able to show you guys a little bit of what I'm doing. So, no real footage today of any workout. Partner showed up a little bit late. Ended up just going swimming with them. Didn't my workout by myself, but did more than I normally do and kicked my ass pretty hard, so feeling pretty awesome right now. Hello everybody, welcome to the video. So this one's gonna be a lot harder than normal. This video I want to talk about the darker things when it comes to weight loss. Some of the reasons that we actually got ourselves fat. I'll probably do a couple of different videos on a few different topics I'm thinking about. So I just wanted to give a heads up. Some of this stuff might be hard for others to hear. Lots of people will probably be able to relate, but it may bring up things that they're trying to move past themselves. So to start it off, I had a hard childhood. My parents loved me. They worked as hard as they could. My dad worked multiple jobs while my mom stayed home and raised the kids. But that didn't stop abuse from happening. Came from both my mother and my father. You know, we would do something bad or something would get blamed on us and we would get hit. There are many times where it was more than just hitting. Belts, utensils, some pretty violent stuff happened throughout most of my childhood. That abuse really messed me up in life, shaped the way I view people, my interactions with people, my anger as a kid. I was very violent as a kid. I took out my rage the same way I'd seen my parents, by hitting people, which is not acceptable. As I grew up, I tend to internalize my feelings. Everything turned to anger and violence. But when I was sad, when I was hurting, I turned to food and used food as comfort. As I'm sure a lot of people can relate, food becomes just the only way to make you happy, and the sad part is that it doesn't make you happy for long, so you turn to food even more. Now, as I grew up, being the oldest boy, my brothers found out at a pretty young age that if the two of them gained up and told my parents that I'd done something, that I would catch the beating for it. This led to a lot of anger. I'd always said that I didn't do it. I always caught the trouble for it, for whatever was done, which made me hate myself, hate my family as I was growing up. I turned to stealing for attention, because if I was gonna get in trouble for whatever happened, I might as well misbehave anyways. I'd steal money, food, I'd break things. All in all, I turned out to be a very angry and lonely child. I found my comfort in food. It started with just things like bags of chips and pop, and then candy because you're young, and all of a sudden I was making a little bit of money, and that turned into things like I was able to order pizza or go out for McDonald's or things like that as I was getting older. And I turned more and more to high-fat food, so it always made me want more after my tummy kind of emptied out a little bit. This led to things like teasing in school. I was picked on for my weight all the time. There was fights, again, with the whole anger turning to violence. There was fights with other students. I was suspended from school or in school regularly for being angry all the time. And regardless of how I was feeling, teachers never did anything when I talked to them. So if teachers weren't going to talk to the kids, I was going to use my fist to talk to them, to try and put them in their place. All of this led to an unhealthy relationship with food. I ate my feelings. I ate my feelings of anger. I ate my feelings of sad. I ate my feelings of doubt. I ate my feelings of jealousy, because I was jealous of my brothers for never getting in trouble when I didn't do anything. It really messed me up. It still does. I've been trying really, really hard. I've been working on it. I try not to eat out of boredom. I try not to eat out of anger or sadness or loneliness. Every day it's a struggle to try and work through these mental issues I have. When you're abused as a child, it takes a heavy toll on you. Not just physically, but mentally as well. It makes you, at least for me anyways, it's made me question everything. As I said earlier, I know my parents love me, but at the same time, I've always questioned if they loved me, why did they hit me and abuse me so much? I was a little kid. At times, yes, I understand I should have known better. At times I was doing it for attention because I just wanted my parents to notice me. But why couldn't they do better? I know it's no consolation for the misbehaviors I did as a child. I know there's no excusing what I did. I believe they should have done better, and because they didn't, I aspire to do better for my kids. I've broken the cycle of violence in my family. I don't abuse my children. I won't let anybody lay a hand on my children. I'm very protective of my kids because I don't want them to ever experience what it is that I've gone through. The thing with emotional eating is that while for a short term it is able to fill that void you're feeling, whatever emotion it is at the time, it leads to other things: shame, guilt, anger at yourself, self-doubt, and all the things that it is that you're trying to accomplish, especially when what you're trying to accomplish is to not be an emotional eater. It leads to a huge damage in your self-esteem. It always makes you question anything. Whenever you start to feel just a tiny bit good about yourself, your self-doubt comes and just crushes you, which then in turn leads you to eating again. For me, my biggest emotion was depression. My daughter, she was about 6.5 when her mother stopped letting me see her, and I became depressed. I stopped working. I'd stopped functioning. I would just eat all the time, shitty food, put a huge stress on my relationship with my ex-wife. I'm glad the kids don't remember that time in my life. I barely left my apartment. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to function at all. I couldn't function. It was just so difficult for me to even feel human. All the emotions were just getting in the way, and of course I was trying to stuff them down with more food. I had gone from about 300 pounds to about between 450 and 500 in the span of about 1.5 to 2 years. And that's what emotional eating did to me. Currently, I am trying to break the emotional eating habits. I fast, which has done huge things for the physical cravings of some of the foods that I was super addicted to. And right now, I'm trying to do all the mental work on it, trying to uncover why I need, or why I felt like I needed the food. I'm trying to bear some of, the emotions out to you people on YouTube. And as difficult as it is, I think hearing stories about how people can relate and how they fall into the traps of emotional eatings can help me build a support system for myself. I work hard to not emotionally eat anymore, which has been really difficult the last week and a bit. I've been struggling with feeling alone. I've had lots of people to talk to, but as a man my size, it's very difficult to have a relationship with somebody. Meaning I tend to hide away. I don't like going out. I'm a homebody because I'm embarrassed of myself and the way I look. I try and reach out to people for romantic relationships and then just end up pulling myself back in, which I understand is counterproductive, but it's just the cycle I go through. And so this last week I've been feeling extremely alone. There are these things called love languages. Mine is touch. That is how I respond, how I show my affection for people, and how I interpret affection from other people. I've not had a relationship where I can have that affection and feel that affection for quite a while. I do get hugs, once in a while, but it's never enough to satisfy that kind of craving I'm feeling for human touch, human contact. And while they're pleasant, the relief I feel from it is fleeting. So it's been really, really tough dealing with that and fighting, wanting to eat all the time. And I'm having to work through it without using food. And while it's difficult, it is making me see a lot of things. I'm seeing that I don't need to eat in order to feel better. I need to find something that makes me feel better, such as going to the gym. Yesterday, I went to the gym. I'd done far more weight than I had before. I did extra exercises than I hadn't done before this time. I went swimming right after for about an hour, and I kicked ass. And after that, I perked up. I've really seen that I can find constructive ways to channel my feelings in order to better myself, to not keep falling down the same pitfalls that have been my life, to keep myself from eating all the time and just turning to the most unhealthy way possible of living. So anyways, I want to say thank you for listening to the video. If you could comment, like, and subscribe, it would be amazing. I understand that this video probably jumps back and forth and is a little jumbled, but if you could share this and maybe get this out, because there's probably a lot of people in your life right now that are going through issues, dealing with emotional eating, and you don't know. So building a community of people who are supportive and are really willing to be there in order to make everybody feel comfortable, come to terms with what it is that they're dealing with, and actually be able to deal with it.